What's up guys, it's Legend X Jonah, and today I have another possible variation video for you guys. Okay, so today I'll be covering possible variations for Bo Rai Cho if he's in the Mortal Kombat X Kombat Pack 2 when it releases in 2016. Now, as most of us already know, Bo Rai Cho is highly rumored to be in the Kombat Pack 2 when it releases, due to the fact that the Force silhouette mainly resembles him. Now, Bo Rai Cho was an NPC in the game, so it wouldn't surprise me for him to be in the Kombat Pack 2. But the whole thing is that a lot of people already have a bad image of Bo Rai Cho. Like, he was in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon. But mainly Bo Rai Cho kind of came to the story kind of as a joke character to kind of lighten up the gore and all that was in Mortal Kombat. And like, he did play a huge role in the story, being the master of Liu Kang and Kung Lao. So he does have a big role story-wise, but a lot of people kind of don't care for Bo Rai Cho due to the kind of moves that he have. They kind of can't, possibly take him serious. But I do believe that if he is in the Kombat Pack 2, this is NetherRealm Studios' chance to make Bo Rai Cho a better character than what they kind of made him in the past, like no longer being this joke character now that Mortal Kombat X is taking more of a serious turn for the story. So with all that being said, here are the possible variations that I came up with for Bo Rai Cho. Alright, now I gotta admit, this is by far the hardest one I did. Honestly, I thought that Serena would have been one because she wasn't as in many games as Bo Rai Cho, but this was probably the hardest one I did. Mainly due to the fact that throughout all the games Bo Rai Cho's been in, he only has 4 moves, so I really had to go off of that and basically go off of like kind of how he is as a character from what we know from him. So here are the variations I came up with. The first variation we have is Shaolin Master. Basically he gains additional combos and torch-based moves, which I'll explain later. The second variation is Drunken Fist, where he gains Drunken Fist combos and moves, and he also has grapples and counters. And then the third variation is Jojutsu Variation, where he utilizes his staff with staff-based combos. Now, basically my whole thing with these variations is, since he is like a Shaolin Master, he knows like all these different things. The main thing with these different variations is that he will gain additional combos, and with each variation it will be like different sets of combos, so that would be pretty interesting to see. For standard moves, like I said, he only had 4 moves, and honestly they weren't the best moves, but I did decide to bring back the monkey flip and the belly bash, and I do think that if they did have the belly bash in the game, it would be completely different than what it was before. Now this last move is Monk Push. This is a move that I gave him. Basically this is something I've seen in often movies where they'll have martial arts going on. Like, they'll do this thing where they'll take both the palms of their fist and like extend them out and push someone forward. Basically I gave him this, kind of like how Liu Kang has the Dragon War where he knocks the enemy back. Basically this is kind of like the same thing, but he'll be doing that with the extension of the 2 hands, pushing them back. Alright, so on to the first variation. We have Shaolin Master Variation. Alright, in this variation he gains additional combos in the use of a fire torch and fire torch based moves. Now, if you've seen Bo Rai Cho's previous fatality in Mortal Kombat Deception, you kind of know where I'm getting at with this variation. Basically, he had a fatality back in Deception where he would pull out a torch and take his wine, and he would drink the wine, and then he'll blow fire at the opponent, setting them on fire. So I decided to take that and implement that into a variation for Bo Rai Cho. The appearance for this variation, he'll have a torch holstered on the side. Some of the moves he'll gain, like I said, he'll gain additional combos in all his variations. Another thing that he gained is Fire Breath. This is just like the fatality in Deception. Basically he uses alcohol and he spits it through the torch and spits fire onto the opponent. The EX version of it is Flame Breath, where he spits fire further, causing more damage, and it does damage over time. His second move is Flaming Torch. He'll swing the torch at the opponent. The EX is Blazing Torch, where he spins around and strikes the opponent twice, and it does extended burn damage over time. The last move I came up with for this variation is Torch Throw, where he throws the torch and it burns the opponent, and then the EX version of it is Flying Torch, where it sends the opponent back on contact, dealing additional burning damage. Alright, on to the next variation. We have his Drunken Fist Variation. Now, this is probably like the most easiest variation to come up with, just because the simple fact that this is his fighting style that he used in, I'm like, he's a drunk, so this would be like an obvious variation to give him. Now, the idea that I got from this variation, it did come from me watching some different Drunken Fist videos and actually movie scenes that I've seen. So to fully grasp the concept of this, I will leave 2 links down in the descriptions where y'all can see like these scenes from different movie scenes where there were people using Drunken Fists. Alright, so on to this variation. In this variation, he gains additional moves and combos. He gains grapples and counters based on the Drunken Fist style. Appearance, he has a bigger jug of alcohol in his satchel. Now the moves that I gave him for this variation, he does get back the puke puddle. This is his infamous move that he's probably most known for. Basically, he vomits on the ground, and if the opponent steps in it, they kind of stumble. So this could lead to him being able to rush down the opponent, doing some more combos. The next move we have is Drunken Monkey Flip. Basically, I took the monkey flip and I changed it in this variation. Basically, he'll flip forward and then fall backwards and roll back a little further. That way he can put distance on against the opponent after he hits him with the flip. The EX version of it is Drunken Monkey Flips, and he flips forward, then does a somersault, kicking the opponent and knocking them back. The next move I have is a move I created called Drunken Waves. It's a counter move. Basically, he grabs the opponent and punches them and then kicks them the opposite way. So, say if he's on the left side of the screen, he does this move, grabs the opponent, punches them, then kicks them the opposite way. Now he's kicking them towards the left side, and now he is on the right side. Alright, the next move we have is Drunken Jabs. It's also a counter that I created. He stops the opponent, hits them with a flurry of quick jabs, and then strikes them in the chest, sending them back. The EX version of this is Drunken Boxing, which is kind of basically another name for the Drunken Fist, where he'll, after hitting them with the flurry of jabs, he takes his palms and uppercuts the opponent, knocking them up in the air, leading you to be able to do some juggle combos. And then the final move for this variation is Drunken Flip, which is a grapple. He grabs the opponent and flips them up. And then the EX version is Drunken Slam, where after flipping the enemy or the opponent, he drops them down, and then he drops down on them, kind of like, you know, thrusting his body weight on them and then dealing more damage. Alright, the final variation I have for him is his Jojutsu Variation. Now, this is actually one of the fighting styles he had in the previous game. Basically, he utilizes his staff. A Jodo is what it's called, basically a short staff with staff-based combos. The appearance for this variation, basically he'll have the staff in his hand. The moves I came up with, as usual, like I said, he'll gain additional staff combos. And then the first move I have is Jodo Smash. Like I said, Jodo is the name of a short staff that they use in Japan. Basically jumps up and slams his staff down on the opponent, knocking them down. The EX version is Jodo Crash, where it causes the opponent to actually pop up, which can lead to juggle combos. The next move is Jodo Strike. He hits the opponent, knocking them back. And then the EX version is Jodo Strikes, where he chains together multiple hits, hitting the opponent, dealing more damage while armored. The final move I have for this is Jodo Sweep, where he trips up the opponent. The EX version of it is Jodo Lift, where he sweeps around the opponent's feet and then flips them up, which will also lead to juggling combos. Alright, these are the variations I came up with for Bo Rai Cho. Like I said, it was kind of hard to come up with some variations for him because he only had 4 moves, and like with him being a Shaolin monk, you know, there's like a wide range of different things he could have. For the standard moves, I'd only had like 3 moves, but honestly, I do feel like they would give him some kind of kick move, or they would give him some kind of projectile to shoot out or something. Because if you think about it, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and Kung Jin, they all have some kind of kick move, and they all have their own personal projectile moves. So I do feel like they would give him something like that if they put him in the game. So I do have high hopes for Bo Rai Cho if he is put in the game. Like I said, this is basically a chance to redeem him as being a better character and having a better image than what he had previously. So I'm really psyched and really hope that Bo Rai Cho is in the Kombat Pack 2. Alright, so if you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a like. Also, let me know what you guys think about the variations I came up with. If you want to add anything, let me know. If you have your own personal thoughts or variations that he could possibly have, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like I said, give this video a like if you liked it. Also, be sure to check out my other videos. Like I said in my previous videos, I do have multiple possible variation videos already out. I have one for Serena, Fujin, and Baraka, so please go check them out. If you're new to my channel, please be sure that you subscribe. This is Legend X Ronin, and I'll see you guys later. What if Alien is free DLC when you pre-order the Kombat Pack 2? Now, don't get me wrong, I would prefer any actual Mortal Kombat character over a guest character, but from an unbiased point, this would make